Level 1. Ride-along helper.
You are 18 years old. The first septic tank you open is in a backyard on Old Mercer Road, under a kid's plastic slide. The lid weighs 40 pounds. You pry it loose with a tool you do not yet know the name of. The smell hits you like a fist, and you throw up on the grass. Hank, the man who hired you yesterday, does not laugh. He says, "You'll stop tasting it in about 3 weeks. Your father closed the auto shop in May. By July, this was the only place that called you back. 3 hours earlier, you walked into a garage that smells like motor oil and something older than motor oil. The walls are covered in calendars. The most recent one is from 1987. Nobody has taken the older ones down. There is a poster of a woman in a swimsuit holding a wrench, and the wrench has rusted in 2 places where the poster touches the wall. Hank is 62. He is missing the ring finger on his left hand. He does not tell you how. He hands you a pair of gloves 2 sizes too big and tells you to get in the truck. The first house has a child's birthday party on the lawn. Pink balloons tied to the mailbox. A banner that says, "Happy, 6th, birthday Hannah." The septic tank is in the back, under the slide. The parents have moved the slide for you. They do not look at you. Hank shows you how to pry the lid, how to lower the hose, how to brace your knees so the suction does not pull you forward. You do all of it. Then the smell hits and you throw up. Hank does not laugh. He says the line about 3 weeks. You will remember that line for the rest of your life. On the drive home, you sit with the window down. The smell stays in your hair. You do not know yet that the smell will not leave. Not in 3 weeks. Not in 30 years.
Level 2. Hose man.
8 months pass. You are 19. You have stopped tasting it, mostly. You can eat a sandwich on the hood of the truck while the tank is dumping, and you eat it slowly, and you eat it well. Hank has a dog named Stinky that lives in the garage. Stinky drinks from the broken toilet bowl in the corner. Hank lets her sleep on his bed. You have learned not to ask about this. You have also learned the names of things. The blue lid, the scum layer, the PTO, the rotary vane pump that screams at 90 decibels for the first 10 minutes and then evens out. You can hear when a tank is hot when it is so full, the load whistles through the hose at a specific pitch. You did not know you could hear this. You can now. You do not tell anyone, because there is no one to tell. You eat dinner with your parents on Sundays. Your father does not ask about work. Your mother asks once, and you tell her a story about a raccoon you found in a tank. She laughs. Your father does not. He looks at his plate. He has not opened the auto shop in 14 months. He has not opened a job application either. You are paying the electric bill now. Nobody talks about this. On a Friday in November, you walk into the diner on the way home. There is a new waitress. She is 22. Her name tag says Marlon. She pours your coffee and asks what you do. You tell her. She does not flinch. She says, "Does it bother you?" You say, "No." You are lying. She knows you are lying. She pours the coffee anyway. 2 weeks later, your sister has an engagement party at her boyfriend's parents' house. You take off your shoes at the door. The people in the living room move slightly away. Not enough to be rude. Enough that you notice. You stand by the snack table for 40 minutes. Nobody talks to you. You leave at 9. Marlene works the Friday night shift. You start eating breakfast at the diner on Saturdays.
Level 3. Solo route driver.
3 years pass. You are 22. You have a CDL Class B with a tanker endorsement. It cost you $4,200 and 6 months of night classes. You drive your own route now, in your own truck, Hank's old truck, repainted, with Hank's septic on the door. Not your name, Hank's. You do not mind. Yet, you drive into Mercer County to pump a tank that has not been serviced since 1981. The owner is a woman in her 70s with 14 cats. Her front porch sags. You pump for 4 hours. What comes out is black and thick and smells like nothing you have ever smelled and everything you have ever smelled. The woman watches from the porch. When you are done, she brings out a glass of lemonade. You take it. You thank her. You wait until you are back in the cab to dump it on the gravel. You do not blame her. You blame your hands. Marlene is pregnant. You ask her to marry you at the diner, in the booth where she first poured your coffee. She says yes. You marry at the courthouse on a Tuesday. Her mother does not attend. She lives 40 minutes away and works at a credit union and does not give a reason. Marlene does not bring it up. You do not bring it up. You take photographs on the courthouse steps with her sister and a friend from nursing school and the judge, who does not smile. That night, lying in bed, you think for the first time, I can do this for 30 years. You mean the marriage. You also mean the job. You will find out, later, what this actually is.
Level 4. Sewer cleaner.
You are 25. Hank is 69 and tired. He sells the garage to a man from Ohio named Davey. Davey is 30. He has a wife and 2 kids and a business plan. He bids on municipal contracts. He wins a small 1 sewer cleaning for 2 townships, not just septic. He tells you he is sending you to OSHA confined space certification. You sit in a classroom in Pittsburgh for 3 days. The instructor has a mustache that does not move when he talks. You learn about hydrogen sulfide. You learn that H2S smells like rotten eggs at low concentrations, and at high concentrations it kills the olfactory nerve in seconds, which means you stop smelling it just before it kills you. The OSHA permissible limit is 20 parts per million for an 8-hour shift. You learn that men die in manholes every year because they do not test the air, and then other men die trying to pull them out without breathing protection. You pass. You drive home. You tell Marlene. She does not say anything. That night, after Caleb is asleep, Caleb, your son, 6 months old, named after Marlene's grandfather, you hear her in the bathroom. She is crying. You stand outside the door for a long time. You do not knock. You do not ask. You go back to bed. You will not bring this up for 26 years. 3 weeks later, you go with Marlene to Caleb's pediatric checkup. The nurse fills out a form. She writes your occupation as sanitation worker. You see it on the clipboard. You could correct her. You do not. Davey reads safety manuals on his lunch break. That will not save him. You came for the money. You stayed for a man named Davey. And then you stayed because he was gone. It is August.
Level 5. Lead tech.
You are 27. The call comes in at 2:14 inches the afternoon, a backup at a manhole on the edge of town, behind the old feed mill. Davey takes the call himself. He is closer. You are pumping a residential off Route 18. You tell him you are 8 minutes out. Your truck is stopped at a train crossing for 4 minutes. A coal train, slow. You sit in the cab and watch the cars go by. You do not know yet that this is the most important 4 minutes of your life. When you pull up, the lid is already open. Davey's truck is parked at an angle. You see his 4-gas monitor on the seat of his truck. He has left it. You will think about that monitor for the rest of your life. You walk to the edge of the hole. You call his name. The hose down in the dark is whistling at a pitch you have never heard before, and your body knows what that pitch means before your mind does. Then you hear his hand hit the concrete wall. Once. Twice. Once more. Weaker. Then silence. You run to your truck. You put on your SCBA. It should take 30 seconds. You are shaking. It takes you 90. You clip your monitor to your collar and you go down the rungs. The monitor screams, H2S 380 parts per million, 19 times the legal limit. The number on the screen is bigger than any number you have ever seen on a monitor. Davey is lying face down. You get him over your shoulder. He weighs more than you remember. You climb up the rungs with him. You lay him on the asphalt. You start compressions. The ambulance arrives in 22 minutes. The paramedics work on him for 40 more. He never opens his eyes. The OSHA investigation finds that Davey's 4-gas monitor had AAA batteries that had been dead for 9 days. Davey had bought the cheaper monitor model when he took over the garage. He was not cheap. He had a wife and 2 kids and 1 truck payment and a business he had owned for 2 years. He had cut a corner. The corner cut him back. At the funeral, his wife does not cry. She sees you across the room. She walks over. She is shorter than you remember. She looks up at your face. She says, "You were 4 minutes." She says it without anger. She says it like a fact. You will hear those 4 words every September for the rest of your life. You drive home from the funeral in the truck. You do not change out of the suit. You sit on the front steps of your house. Marlene comes out and sits down next to you. She does not say anything. She takes your hand. Your hand is clean. You washed it 4 times, but you can still smell yourself, faintly, under the soap. She does not let go. She holds your hand for 40 minutes on the steps. Caleb is 2. He is asleep inside. You do not go in. The garage is closed for 3 weeks while OSHA investigates. When it reopens, Davy's wife sells it back to the bank. The bank sells it to you. You take a second mortgage on the house. Marlene signs the papers without reading them. You become the boss.
Level 6. WWTP Operator.
You feel like the man who took the job because there was no one else left in the room. A double-wide outside Hermitage, Pennsylvania. The owner's wife brings you a glass of water. You don't drink it. She watches you not drink it. She takes it back inside without a word. A school parking lot in Sharon. Caleb is 6. You wait for him in the truck because the school asked you to wait in the truck. He gets in. He says, "Tommy Riley's dad says you pick up our poop." You do not answer. He does not ask again. A wedding in West Middlesex. Marlene's cousin. You wear a rented suit. A woman at the bar asks what you do. You say sanitation. She nods and turns to the man behind you. A Christmas Eve in 2002, 2 a.m. You are in the cab of the truck in a snowstorm because the Hendersons' Marlene's college friends have a basement backup. You fix it in 40 minutes. They hand you an envelope at the door. They do not invite you in. The envelope has $400 in it. You buy Caleb a bike with it. He never asks where the money came from.
Level 7. Owner-Operator.
You are 33. You have passed the state wastewater treatment plant operator exam, grade 3 license. The municipal plant hires you. You wear a clean uniform now. You sit at a desk. The desk has a printout taped to the side, a cat hanging from a tree branch, with the words, "Hang in there" in faded yellow. Nobody knows who put it there. It has been there 6 years before you started. You manage 4 field techs. One of them is a kid named Kyle. 3 years ago, Kyle was the kid you trained on a ride-along. Kyle called you old man. Now Kyle calls you sir. You do not correct him. Marlene cries when you tell her about the desk job. Not because she is sad, because you are inside. Now, air conditioning, dental insurance. You will not die in a hole. She cries for 10 minutes at the kitchen table while you stand there holding a beer you have not opened. Caleb is 12. He sits 2 seats away from you at the dinner table. He has done this since he was 6. You used to think it was because of the smell. The smell is mostly gone now. He still sits 2 seats away. The habit has outlived the cause. You notice this in October and you cannot stop noticing it. A Saturday in February, Marlene asks you, "Are you happy now?" You are watching a basketball game with the sound off. You say, "Yes, you are lying." You do not know what about. You just know you are lying. The desk could not hold you. You did not understand that yet.
Level 8. Veteran.
You are 40. The work bores you. The boredom is not relief. It is a kind of low-grade panic. You realize, slowly, that you do not know who you are when nobody needs you to go down. You apply for a small business loan. You take out a second mortgage on the house. Marlene signs without reading. You buy a new truck. It is a Peterbilt 365 with a fresh aluminum tank and a 600 CFM rotary vane pump. You drive it off the dealer lot on a Wednesday in April. The aluminum tank behind the cab is still cool from the morning. Your window is down. Your arm is out. The sign on the door, your last name, in blue vinyl on white taps against the side mirror every few seconds as the wind catches it. In the mirror, you see your name backward. You can still read it. You stop at a red light on Route 18, and a kid in the back seat of the car next to you points at your truck and laughs at his mother. The mother laughs too. For 1 second, you think about Davy. Then the phone rings. Year 2, 3 trucks. Year 3, 14 employees. You bid on the same township contract Davy won the year he died. You win it. You sign the paperwork with a hand that does not shake. You do not go down into manholes anymore. You sit in a warehouse office, and you sign invoices, and you call your accountant on Tuesdays. Caleb is 18. He brings home a brochure from the community college. He wants to study business administration. He tells you he will not do what you do. You nod. You do not know what you feel. It is something like relief and something like being left behind, and they are happening at the same time, and you cannot tell which one is louder. One morning in March, you have a nosebleed that will not stop. The doctor asks your occupation. He asks for how long. He says that long-term exposure to hydrogen sulfide can damage the olfactory nerve, which can weaken the small blood vessels in the nasal lining. He says it casually, like he is telling you the weather. You drive home. You tell Marlene over dinner. She is quiet for a moment. Then she says, "I haven't seen you smell food in 15 years. You do not have an answer. You eat the rest of dinner in silence. Caleb is not at the table. He has not been at the table for 2 years. A year later, a competitor moves in. A larger company, out of Pittsburgh, with 3 times your fleet. They bid $40,000 under you on the township renewal. The township calls a meeting. You go. You do not bring slides. You do not wear a suit. You stand up in the back of the room when it is your turn, and you say one sentence. You say, "I was at the Carter manhole in 2002. Davy didn't come home." You ask their people who'll be at your manhole at 2 a.m. on Christmas. You sit down. The township renews you in a vote that is not close. You do not celebrate. You sit in the truck in the parking lot for 20 minutes before you drive home. Your name is on the door. It has been there for 8 years. Caleb has not been inside the building for 3 of them. You spent 30 years going into holes. The deepest one was the one at your own dinner table. You are 58. You still go to the garage every morning at 5:45. Marlene still leaves the coffee out at 5:30. She does not say anything when you leave. She does not ask when you will be back. She is still here. A Tuesday in June. A kid walks in for an interview. He is 18. His father lost his job at the packaging plant in March. The kid did not get into college. He stands in front of your desk and looks at his shoes. His name is Devin. You ask him 3 questions. He gives 3 answers. You hire him. You hand him a pair of gloves, 2 sizes too big. You ride along on his first call. He kneels on the grass. He pries the lid. The smell hits him. He throws up in the bushes. He looks at you, mortified. You do not laugh. The office cat, a tabby named Tucker, 11 years old, the 3rd Tucker in your career, jumps on your desk that evening and pushes your coffee mug onto the floor. You do not pick it up. Devin picks it up. He has been hired for 6 hours. He is already cleaning up after you. That night, your phone rings at 9:40. It is Marlene. You are still at the office. She does not ask why. She asks, "Do you remember Davy's wife's first name?" You sit in the cab of the truck in the parking lot for 6 minutes. You try to remember. You cannot. You see her face in the funeral hall, 26 years ago. The way she looked up at you and said 4 words. You see her face. You cannot see her name. Finally, you say, "I'll be home." It is not an answer. Marlene knows it. She says, "Okay." She hangs up. You drive home with the windows down. The smell does not stay in your hair the way it used to. The olfactory nerve has been gone for years. You realize, somewhere on Route 18, that you do not remember what your wife's shampoo smells like. You do not remember what your house smells like. You do not remember what Caleb's hair smelled like when he was a baby. In the morning, Devin is already in the garage. He is 15 minutes early. He looks at you. He asks, "Will I stop tasting it in 3 weeks?" You look at him. You say, "Yes, you are lying. Hank lied to you too. You did not know that until just now." Devin will do this for 30 years. He has no idea what this actually is. But he'll learn. Everyone does. And 30 years from now, a kid will walk in here, and the man behind the desk will be the boy who threw up in the bushes tonight. He will hand him a pair of gloves that are too big. He will say the exact same words you just said. The cycle continues.